I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. On this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries, we have arrived at the Collingwood Arts Center. I have to admit, it's the first time I've ever stepped foot in this building, and I was a little unnerved as I walked around alone throughout the hallways of this 5-story tall 18th century building. You would be too if all of a sudden you started to hear this. I was very happy to find out that was the janitor, simply whistling as he worked. I think I've watched too many scary movies. I was here to meet with Lexi Staples. She's the executive director of the Collingwood Arts Center, also known as the CAC.
I do everything from, renting studios to painting walls to social media to sometimes less fun activities like taking out trash. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything. And really we're trying to support the arts community while maintaining this historic building. So it's a pretty cool and strange mission.
The mission of the CAC, like Lexi said, is to provide the people and the arts community of Greater Toledo with a unique space wherein creativity, diversity, and artistic expression is fostered and nourished. They do this through 3 main services. The first is by renting out rooms in the building for artists as studio spaces. The other 2 services are mainly used for events. Sometimes outside parties will rent the building to hold an event, and sometimes the CAC hosts events themselves. This was all new and exciting information for me, as, again, I'd never been into the CAC before. But if you grew up in Toledo, you're most likely well aware of the CAC and what it offers.
I actually went to school at the building you see right there next door, and that was called St. Angela Hall. When I was a little kid, and so I grew up in this neighborhood and went to St. Angela Hall and then came to the Collingwood Arts Center for Children's Theater Workshop. It's theater for kids by kids, so it's pretty awesome, and I had such good memories of it that every 5 years as an adult I just kept coming back here and kind of trying to get somebody to hire me.
And it worked. Lexi started working smaller positions at the CAC under the direction of Sarah Kerfis. And slowly she worked her way up to take over that director's position when it opened. She finally got the position she fought for. But in a way, she's still fighting for it today. You see, her job as an executive director is only paid as a 20-an-hour-week position. The office manager and special events planner, they're only paid as a 10-hour-a-week position. Obviously, this setup doesn't work because they put in more hours than they can be paid for. And Lexi doesn't hope this setup will change. She knows it will change.
Yeah, we will, and we feel really positive about that, and that's something that we're definitely moving towards. So, I hope to be, a 40-hour-a-week kind of girl eventually. But we will definitely get there, and we're really stabilizing right now, and it's been really fun. We're really at this huge growth period. It's when I started, the message was really save the CAC, and that was really where we were coming from. And now it's just come hang out here, support the CAC. This is such a cool project. We're not feeling that fear of, losing this project. We're here.
At one time, it did seem like Toledo would lose the CAC. It actually has quite the complicated history. The building was first built in 1872, at least the first part of it. It was a house owned by a local merchant who then declared bankruptcy. The house then moved to the Ursulines, an order of nuns. They built the Mary Manse College, which is kind of the second half of the building. But then the Mary Manse College closed in 1975. So in 1985, the Collingwood Arts Center was created. And from 85 to 2013, the CAC had an extensive residency program. Artists could not only own a studio space, but their studio space would also be their home. So what happened?
In the winter of 2013, which, if you remember, was pretty horrendous. It was very, very icy and crazy and whatever. And what happened was a lot of the building was falling into disrepair. A lot of radiators exploded due to them freezing, and a boiler went down. So we lost heat to the majority of the building. That really caused the residency program to end. That got us a lot of media attention and not a lot of favorable media attention. Sarah Kerfis stayed here for quite a while and was able to turn around a lot of that, and we were able to really start fundraising for a boiler. And really the mission of the building is to save the building. We have a lot of artists that used to live here who actually rent studios here. We're trying to make sure that we're still supportive to that same community.
In a way, the CAC is now trying to reinvent itself. And Lexi is in charge of that rebirth. A job that carries a lot of responsibility, but also the opportunity to reconnect with the city of Toledo.
I don't feel anxious. I just feel excited because there's mostly just, the area seems to be a sponge. So anything that you do is really well received, and people are so receptive to what we're doing that it's been just exciting to do it. I mean, like, we have a lot of stuff going on, and we have 3 theaters actually in the building, 2 that we rent out often in the underground, which is our black box theater, which is pretty cool. And there's stuff coming up in both theaters, but we do a little bit of everything, trying to really promote that arts culture in this neighborhood. You know, we have some great public transit. Third Thursdays is a great way to access some of the arts and culture in the city, and I think that there's so much cool stuff going on. Just get out and do it.
I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries. Lexi's choices for the next interview of the Rough Draft Diaries include...
Okay, so are you ready? So my 3 people would be Nicole Corey of Project I Am, who's super awesome and a powerhouse. Gina Mercurio of People Called Women, who is also super awesome and also a powerhouse. And then Heather Kudzia or something like that, I bet, who does Carly Cares and is also super awesome and a powerhouse variety.
Join us Wednesday morning at 7:45 to hear who I pick on the Rough Draft Diaries on FM 91.